Absolutely. Thanks for the reminder. So we did start the recording. I have put everyone on mute for the time being, all the participants, but we still do have the chat feature on the GoToMeeting. So feel free to ask any questions as we go along through the webinar. Feel free to ask them through the chat session. I will unmute everyone at the end of the webinar in case anyone wants to ask questions that way. And we will have some time for Q&A at the end as well. So without further ado, we are presenting CRM today. So CRM is short for Customer Relationship Management. What we're showing today is completely out of the box, so no add-ons are being presented today. Everything is out of the box CRM functionality. And CRM, for maybe those who don't know, or those companies who use it differently, it really can be used or viewed in a lot of different lenses. So CRM means different things to different companies. For instance, some companies may use CRM for existing client relations. Some may use CRM functionality to manage their sales pipeline, and some may use it for marketing and handling their marketing processes. So we have a lot of different lenses that we can use CRM through. Hopefully one of those different things fits your company and what you guys use CRM for. And so we're going to kind of dive into what SAP has to offer and how it can help you handle your sales pipeline and handle your marketing and your client relations. So our objective today is just to provide SAP Business One users, which are you guys, with tools to leverage SAP CRM functionality to better serve your customers and better track your leads. Today, what we're going to be going over to accomplish that is we're reviewing our leads and customers master data. We're going to dive into activities. We're going to, yep.
From some reason, we still see the first slide. I don't know if you...
Oh, sorry about that. Thanks so much, Oren. I had paused the screen share. Thanks so much.
Sure.
Okay, so perfect. Now that you guys are on the same page, for our agenda, like I said, we're going to do the leads and customers master data. We are going to dive into activities. We're going to run campaign management, which I think a lot of you may not have seen or may not have used. It's a little underutilized, so I'm going to show you a couple of ways that we can use that. We're going to review opportunities management, and we're also going to look into the sales quotation to sales order process. Along the way, I'm going to give you reports that are relevant to each of these areas, and I'm going to provide you with where you can get documentation in the future and save some time for a Q&A. So first, we want to start out with our business partner master data. So this is our leads and customers. Oh, there we go. My cat made an appearance. So this is our leads and customers master data. The BP master data form, we'll go ahead and open it here. Now, many of you, or I guess all of you, will be familiar with this business partner master data form. It's used to, it basically is a centralized location for all of your relevant lead and customer master data, such as your contacts, your addresses, any kind of payment terms, tax information, everything that's relevant to your lead or customer, or what we'll not cover today, or your vendors. That's all housed in here. So additionally, just a side note, we're looking at this record was all, is manually entered by hand. You're more than welcome to do that. You can also upload business partner master data yourself through import from Excel. That's not covered on this webinar, but if you are interested in looking into that, we did cover that on a previous webinar called Data Update and Import. So just a little tidbit for you if you did want to, go through a way to add all of these records in mass. So a couple important things about this business partner master data form. Like I said, it does handle all of your telephone numbers, your contacts, email addresses, all of that good kind of stuff. And it really serves as a foundational piece for a lot of the CRM functionality we're going to see today. So it helps remove our manual data entry. Since this is housing our telephone numbers, our emails, all of that's going to seamlessly flow into activities, into our campaigns, so we're not having to enter data multiple times. as kind of a precursor here, you'll notice here, this is set up as a lead. Now for leads, we can only enter sales quotations and sales orders. If you do want to invoice or deliver for this customer, you'll have to change them from a lead to a customer. This is really easy. We'll go through it, in a little later stages when we actually do our sales quotation to a sales order. But all you have to do is change it here from a lead to a customer record. You'll notice when I do that, you'll see this account balance and deliveries are now popping up. So once you change it from a lead to a customer, you'll get some additional information there for account balances and kind of your financial side of things. The other kind of nice little tip there is when you do convert a lead to a customer, you really don't have to, again, removing some manual data entry, so you really don't have to, re-enter anything. There's no re-entering of the record. All of that lead information, all of their history will follow through when you create them as a customer, all of the documents you've entered for them. So it keeps kind of a cohesive record as it goes from lead to a customer.
Yep. And when we are looking at a customer, just a note, either a customer or a vendor, that master data record is not just saving static information, it's also dynamic. So when we look at the customer record, and I will try to find a customer with some transactions, everything is consolidated here. So if we want to look at a customer with some balance, we could drill down to their open orders, opportunities with them, and also account balance. Okay, so account balance show us all their history in terms of invoices, payments, even journal entries. And if we could split that into specific dates, or see only the invoices that are open or all of them. With a drill down option here, as well as to see any of their previous sales to that customer in a graphical way or in a line way. And again, all the transactions that made that graph are available here at the top, so you can see all their invoices, credit memos, things of that nature. And like almost everywhere in SAP, you are able to filter the table. So if you want to see transactions only relevant for past few years, you could do just that and filter those transactions.
Beautiful, thanks, Oren. The other thing I wanted to share, since we're Pioneer and we love to share tips and tricks, this is actually one that I learned recently. I wanted to share this quick little tidbit with you guys. This button right here on our business partner master data will allow us to copy our bill to address to ship to. So it looks like we do already have that address, but we can go ahead and copy it again. And once you press that button, it adds all of that information there. You can update it. So semi-related, but I did just want to share that little tip with you guys. Beautiful. And then you update it and it's done. So otherwise, that's kind of it for our business partner master data. There are a couple little reports and tidbits I want to show you there. First being the inactive customers report. So I thought this one was a really nice report. It allows you, we can just look at all our customers first. So it allows you to see with your customers which ones haven't entered or which ones don't have certain documents entered in the system. So for example, we have this whole list of customers right here that we haven't created sales quotations for. So they may just be on our customer list, but we've never reached out to them and engaged them to want to purchase. So it really helps us give kind of a picture of maybe who we need to reach out to. We do also have a date range there, and are able to select a customer group if we want to narrow in on specific industries that we have. So that was a quick little report for the business partners that I think could be really helpful for you guys. Another kind of some other little tidbits here on our business partner master data. As you see, as we'll be going through the training today, there's this "You Can Also" button, and that is available on most of the forms that we're looking at today. And it allows you, it kind of gives these little treasures here off of the business partner master data. So it allows us to view activities and opportunities related to this business partner. It also allows us to create those activities, opportunities, sales quotations, things like that, just from the click of a button.
So if you look, for example, at the related activities, that will show you everything that anyone did with the customer. So you're sharing information about conversation, calls, emails, and things of that nature. So that brings a lot of visibility to maybe multiple touch points you're doing with the customer by different employees.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to go in our fun little "You Can Also" button, and we're going to create an activity. So this is where we want to start, maybe want to start our CRM process. Again, it looks different for everyone, but starting off, we're going to look at activities. So what is an activity exactly? An activity is a form we can use to track all of our interactions with the customer. So you can see here when I use the "You Can Also" button, I created this activity, and it automatically filled in our BP information, our contact person, a telephone number. So that gives us a really good at-a-glance number if we need to make any phone calls. We also have multiple different types of activities here. So it could be a phone call, a meeting, a task, a note, a campaign, or other. When you click on each of these, you'll see that we have different fields that are being exposed depending on what our activity is. So for instance, if we have a task activity, we can see there's a status on here. This is fully configurable. The task can be, maybe you say, okay, well, I assigned this task, I assigned it to a certain user, and now they'll get a pop-up and a reminder that they need to do something. A lot of times there's, we see a struggle where maybe we have too much data and there's not enough action. So this really will help us kind of create that workflow and keep track of our interactions and, kind of create a little workflow where we can assign next steps and make sure that we do take actions on the certain open opportunities or open business partners that we have. So in here also under the type of activity we have, or the activity kind of overarching type, we have different types that are definable here. So we could say maybe that it's a sales activity, and then we have a subject. Is it maybe relating to a sales order, a sales quotation, a return, some training, and kind of let us define that there. So we really have a good idea of what kind of activity this is. And then we can make some remarks here.
Right, and the type and the subject are really helpful. Each one of you could define different types and different subjects that are basically a subtype. And for example, if you have sales and under that returns, that will allow you later, and Beth will show you later the reports to analyze, for example, all your returns, to analyze, hey, maybe one client is making more claims than others. Maybe you have returns that are specific to a specific reason, so you can improve upon that information. So that definition of type and subject by you to your specific business is really critical.
Absolutely. So here we're going to do an example in an activity, just a follow-up example. So I put in the remarks, please follow up with a lead to determine if we should send a quote. We can determine meeting locations if that's important. You could say, business partner, company office, things like that. I've assigned this activity, and what I want to do is create a reminder. So I click down here and say, hey, create a reminder for this user who we've assigned it to, so they know that they have an activity that's pending, basically, that they need to take action on. I won't cover these in too much detail, but we have a lot of different tabs that you can use to, hold more information on this activity. This content tab for more detailed information, linked documents here if there are any kind of sales quotations, sales orders that are linked to the activity, and any kind of attachments you want to use here. So we'll go ahead and add this activity. And in just a moment, you'll see an alert pop up for me. So this will be my reminder notice. And straight from there, we can see kind of an old example of it. Mine will come through in just a second, but an older example of it that's in here, and it reminded me to go ahead and look at my activity. So right there, we have our golden arrow drill downs. We're able to drill down into our activity and see what needs to be done there. So we'll take a look. Let's close this out. All right, so it should be there in just a minute.
And any questions in between, please feel free to type in the chat and I will bring them up.
Oh, it looks like we actually did have a question. So where do I find the inactive customers? So that you can search here on your search menu. Just change it to, instead of data, do search menus. And then you can type in inactive customers. That'll pull up the report, or it should be under your business partner reports here as well, this inactive customers. And just as a kind of a reminder, that doesn't mean inactive in this sense. So it's not the active inactive in that sense. So yeah, feel free to add any other questions there. So it looks like we did get our reminder notice. So it says remind notice, it has our activity date, and we can click to open this activity here. Now that it's assigned, I can change the status and say, okay, I completed it, I called that customer, we'll update it, say it's completed, and then I can create a follow-up down here. So this little button allows us to link this activity where I just click follow up here to open an activity. So I can link this activity to the past activity and say, okay, general, or maybe let's go to sales. Say I did a follow up, they do want a quotation. I can put that information here that they want a quotation, and and from there we can create a workflow of, hey, let's assign this quotation, let's have somebody send it out, things like that. And it will always link back to the last activity. So you'll always have that traceability here. We go to activities, and then we can open up our previous activity. And as many as you have linked, it will always, then we could go back and back and back. So, so otherwise.
And Elizabeth, we have a quick question if activity can be reoccurring.
That is a great question, actually.
So let's go into the activity. And if you see, there is on the bottom here reoccurrence for activity. So if you have like a monthly, month end, or whatever you want to do on a monthly or a weekly or a daily base, you can specify this reoccurrence, and that will create automatically those activities and assign them to the appropriate person with the appropriate type and subject.
Perfect. Thanks for covering that one, Oren. Okay, so another quick activities report that I wanted to show you guys. Let me know if you do have any questions about activities while we're here. Feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll show you this little activities report. So it's called My Activities. You can either open it from there where I was showing, or there should be this option right here. So this gives you a display of all of your activities, everything that you are assigned to. You can always toggle to only display open activities. If you are using the service call module, we're not covering that today, but if you are using the service call module, you can also include scheduled service calls on here. So it really gives you a picture of maybe what you need to do, what phone calls you need to make, campaigns you need to follow up on, things like that. And then
beautiful.
Here again, you can add new activities.
Beautiful. And there is a question if it's possible to customize the field. Yes, you can add UDF, user-defined fields. You can move fields around within an activity and things of that nature. So it's fully configurable, I call it, not customized, because we don't need to write any code.
Beautiful. So any other questions about activities while we're still here?
Okay, great. So we covered so far the customer master data, the activity master data, that's master data. Now we're going to go into some of the actual CRM tools like campaign management and opportunities management and things of that nature.
Absolutely. So since we now kind of know how to put our leads in the system, and now we know how to capture our interactions with them using our activities, we're going to look at the campaign management functionality in SAP and see kind of another way to reach out to our leads and our customers. So we have a couple scenarios that we're going to run through here with you. What this campaign generation or campaign management is generally used for is marketing automation. There are a lot of different uses, but I would say that's the main one. In our first scenario, we're going to use this campaign generation wizard. So let's see. Okay, we got a question here for the activities, how to configure alerts for the activities. Is it automatic or manual? So the remind notices for the activities are automatic. As long as you click that reminder checkbox down there, those will come through automatically. We do have, I believe this one's a custom, just a quick little custom alert for activities scheduled for today. So some of them, that reminder does come out of the box. You can also create custom alerts. For details on how to set those up exactly, we do have a webinar for that. It's where we covered some alerts and authorizations, approval processes, things like that. So feel free to reach out afterwards if you want me to shoot you that webinar link as well. So the campaign generation wizard will take us through creating a campaign, but in a really easy wizard style format. So first of all, we have some options here, either to create a new campaign or create a campaign based on an existing one. So you can see our existing ones down here. We'll just go ahead and create a new campaign in this instance. So the first campaign we're going to do is an end of the year party. So this is one way of using campaign management, either doing some kind of end of the year party, or maybe you're having a special sale that's going on and you want to let your specific customers know details about that sale or what have you. This is a good way to send out kind of a blast and reach them. So we'll do our campaign type as email. We can set me as the owner of the campaign. And we'll set an end date, maybe 2:30. Oops. Doesn't like my end date for some reason. There we go. And then any remarks, please join us at our end of the year party. So whatever you enter here, this is what is going to come through on the email that the clients are getting. And then we'll add in a campaign template here. So there we go. So we'll add in that template. Now this is the attachment that's going to be saved with our campaign and sent out with our campaign. If in the case that you're doing any kind of special item pricing and you're using the campaign to send out details about certain sales that you're having, this is where you would add in any of your items that are relevant to that campaign. And if you're partnering with anybody on this campaign as well, you can add that information in here. So we'll click next. This is where we're going to determine which business partners are relevant for the campaign. We can import this. We can also copy and paste some details here. So we'll click that. And let's say maybe for this campaign, we'll choose them. And maybe we'll choose some more. Okay, so this is who we want to invite to our party. And everything looks good. It automatically, like I was showing earlier, it's automatically pulling in this contact information, email, and it's creating an activity. So we just saw the activities. This is going to automatically create an activity. It's going to be a campaign type activity, and it's going to just keep that traceability that we did invite these people, and they were a part of the campaign. And from here, really some short, easy steps here. From here, we just can either save our campaign. Maybe we don't want to execute it now. We can save it. Or we can save our campaign and execute it. We'll send it out through our SBO mailer. So there, we'll go ahead and send our email, and this will get sent out and saved as a campaign. So the pros here, really, it does send directly, this campaign does send directly from SAP. You don't have to engage any other third-party software or anything like that. And it pulls all of your information that's contained in your business partner master data. So you don't have to worry about any kind of, taking your data from SAP, putting it into some other software to run your campaigns. Everything is here. So that really is a positive. I will say, in terms of the campaign management, of course, we have a few pros and a few cons. For the campaigns, the functionality is maybe not as robust as other tools that are just focused on marketing automation. So if you really need a super robust marketing automation tool, this may not have everything you need, but it still may work to fit some of your purposes. The other thing that I do have to mention as a disclaimer, when you send out emails from the campaign management, it will send out the emails together. So all of the recipients of your campaign will see the other recipients' emails. If you're inviting people to a party and it's not a big deal, then maybe this is a good solution. But I do just need to bring that up.
Question from Amanda about the campaign. Is it going to send it to the main contact person or to the primary, or can we choose which contacts from the BP it's going to be sent it to?
Yeah, so you should be able to, we can open this up again. So you should be able to choose which contacts. Right here. So for instance, if we wanted to choose another contact, these might only have one contact in them, but if we wanted to choose another contact to send it to, it would be in here, and it just comes from the contact person defined on the BP master data. And so you can switch that out. Perfect. So the other example, and we won't run through the full thing just to be conscious of time, but the other example that you can use this for, this campaign, is for cold call management. If you wanted to manage, a cold call campaign. So what's really interesting here, I just walked through the process using the campaign generation wizard. So what that does, if you see this document that's here now, that created a campaign for us. So that just, that wizard walks through the process, creates everything we need, and adds it to this campaign form. We had selected any items, partners, attachments, that's all here. Of course, we can open it up and display this attachment just like, we can display that attachment just like in any of the other forms in SAP. We can also create a campaign from scratch. And one of the really interesting things, so if you are using this as a cold call management tool, so maybe cold calling some leads that you don't know, maybe specifically if they're leads yet, maybe it's just kind of a suspect thing, you have a lead list and you really need to qualify them before they become leads. So what you can do in the campaign form is you can just take a list of, say you have some details, some contact details. You can take your list of potential leads, and if you'll see here on an Excel, I have this list of potential leads. I can just copy it from there and click here and paste. So all of our potential leads are in here. We can call this our cold call.
And that will not create a business partner, right? That's a straight list.
Exactly. So this isn't going to be related to any business partner record here. You can see it doesn't have our little golden arrow drill down, and this internal box, if it was an internal BP in our system, that would be checked. Since it's not, that's unchecked. Now we can also determine responses here. So say we started our cold call campaign and we have some really positive responses. we have some people that are interested and not interested. We can define that here. And from the, straight from this campaign list, we can add, a sales opportunity, sales quotation, order, things like that, and really take their interest to the next level. That also means, so we're gonna create a sales opportunity in this case. And what that means is really you have that traceability through from activities or from campaigns, straight through to sales opportunities, and from there straight through to quotations and to adding them as a lead in your system and that kind of thing. So it's really, flows right through. So in this case, let's say we did our campaign, our cold call campaign, and we had really, really good meeting with Acme Corporation, and we want to start a sales opportunity for them. So what we'll do here is just click, say they're interested, say sales opportunity, and document number. So obviously we want to create a new opportunity here. We'll just click new. And so what this does now, if you notice, so it'll bring in all of this information that we had entered in the campaign, but it's also, if we go back to our original campaign, it's also now updated this Acme user or this Acme lead and added that golden arrow. So now it is an internal BP in our system. So we've created this sales opportunity. So now what are sales opportunities? So sales opportunities they're basically best used for managing strategic sales cycles for either high value items and services or very long, maybe particularly long sales cycles. They have some of the same information that maybe you see on your activities, but it's a lot more robust and really helps you track from start to end your sales process. It allows your sales team, they can set up and track these certain opportunities. They can also do reporting based on these opportunities. So really kind of robust here. So I want to just give you a quick overview of what's on this opportunity screen to start out with. First of all, here we have, again, all of our business partner information. Down here in our potential tab, we have predicted closing. So maybe we're thinking that this opportunity with this lead, generally our sales cycle maybe takes 60 days. So we can put that in. It'll auto calculate here our predicted closing date. Then we can give our potential amount. So let's say we have a good feeling and we think, okay, it's going to be a $50,000 opportunity. We'll put that in here. And then define our level of interest. So this is whatever it means to you, honestly. In this case, we're using maybe a suspect, a prospect, or like a hot lead. This is great. We should be talking to them every day. So let's say in this case, it's a hot lead. We want to mark it as such. All of this information is going to be flowing through into our opportunities reports, which we'll show you in a minute. But those are really, it's really important to make sure that you're utilizing a lot of this because it will give you great insights in reporting. And we'll kind of look through that as we go. We also have interest range information. So we can define exactly, maybe what our product lines are and what this opportunity is really interested in. So we make sure that we're kind of pushing those lines or making sure that we're, addressing what they're here for.
And just to add, all those options are really definable by you. So the level of interest is a table that you create and you define what's the different metrics for your interest of level. The descriptions here could be the product type, could be also something else. And again, that list is fully definable by you.
Beautiful. Then following on to this general tab, we have some information for BP channels. So if this lead came to you through a certain channel or through a certain other business partner, you can indicate that here. And this can help you in the future if you are doing any kind of, referral rewards or anything like that. Can also help you see here for the information source. On a similar note, you can track where this opportunity came from. Maybe it wasn't a specific business partner of yours, but maybe it came from a trade show. So again, this information source, once you're doing your reporting, you can really drill down and see where your most promising leads are coming from. The opportunities reporting is pretty robust, so you can really see, okay, maybe these were my 5 biggest opportunities and they all came from trade shows, so we need to pour more resources into trade shows because that's really helping grow our business. And then things like industry, things like that, we can add any remarks here about our opportunities. And then we have our stages tab. So this gives you wonderful traceability in terms of your exact, so not just with activities, but really your exact interactions with this opportunity. So we'll start maybe this start date a little before so we can create a couple lines here. So let's say we'll define me as the sales employee. Let's say the first stage is a lead. This is all definable, again, based on your sales process or whatever you're using opportunities for, based on your process. So if you do lead, first meeting, second meeting, quotation, negotiation, order, this would work for you. Otherwise, figure out your stages and what works for you, and then you'll be able to track that here. So we can say received lead, and we have our potential amount here. So we've assumed, hey, we're going to get $50,000 from this opportunity. All of these stages are basically defined here in the stage numbering, so first, second, third, and also a closing percentage. So we can say, generally when we get to the quotation stage, we're 60% of the way to closing this deal, or things like that. So that helps you kind of see where your closing percentage is and kind of the weighted amount of this part of your opportunity. So we created our sales opportunity from there. Once we added it, it added straight back to our campaign. We'll go ahead and update. And again, like I was showing, now we can see that this lead actually has turned into a business partner. We can drill down into their record very easily, and we can also drill into here their sales opportunity very easily and go from there. So really quick, before I leave campaigns behind forever, there was one campaign report that I did want to show you guys.
And once you show that, we have a question from Tim about if we are going to show quotes. So yes, Tim, we're going to show that in a few minutes. Quote management. Okay,
gotcha. Yep, beautiful. So yeah, just really quick, I wanted to show you this campaigns list. What this allows you to do, so it allows you to kind of pick apart and see how successful your campaigns are. So in this case, we can see, let's filter by, everybody who we've received positive interest in the campaigns, and can filter by that. And now we can actually see from our campaigns, these are all different cold calls, but in this case, we can see actually from our campaigns where we're getting positive responses, where those are actually turning into a sale, whether it be a sales quotation here, a sales order, an opportunity, and we can see the value that's coming from our different campaigns, how many we contacted, what the responses were, and things like that. So again, gives you some valuable insight about where you should be pouring your resources in what campaign. So back to our sales opportunities here. Now that we created that sales opportunity, we did talk about UDFs just for a moment, but the opportunity is fully configurable with UDFs. We have some even personally that I like to use when I'm using SAP that we've added. So next follow-up date, a phone number and an email, so that you can see, define when you want to follow up with this opportunity next, and just pull in phone number and email. So little information there that helps out. And as well, we have, just like every other module, we have our traceability back to activities with this golden arrow here. So after this, basically, if we're looking at our opportunity, maybe we got this lead, and let's say after, we can skip past the meetings, we talk to them. Let's say maybe they just want a quote. They like what we sell, they want to see how much, and they want
Yeah.
to start.
A question from Jake, Beth. Is there a reason someone would just use the opportunity and not use the campaign? Yes, absolutely. It could be linked, but an opportunity also could be used not necessarily by campaign. Maybe you want to use MailChimp and other platforms for marketing automations that are more robust in terms of the design and things of that nature. So yes, you could use just the sales opportunity and track your pipeline. So two different tools, and later on we're going to see the sales quotation, sales order that can also be linked here, but those are kind of different tools. The campaign management is for marketing automations mainly. The opportunities for pipeline management, kind of tracking your pipeline and your potential leads you're working with. Mainly longer sales opportunities, not like quotes that should be, quick quotes and convert to a sales order. So, and that will be the third mechanism that we're going to show in a few minutes, the quotation and conversion to quotes.
Absolutely. So actually, great introduction to it. We're going to show now how we can create sales quotations in SAP. So you can always create them independently, but since we're using an opportunity, this helps us again with that traceability. And let's say, this customer here, we could have said, hey, customer likes it, send out a sales quotation, and we can kind of create a workflow that way. So let's say we did that, and now we want to create a sales quotation. So we'll click here on this document type that says sales quotations. We can click in here and tab over. And let's say if there's no sales quotations added in, they're a new opportunity. So we'll create a new one. So again, this brings in all of our relevant information here.
And also from here to J questions, yes, you can start a sales quotation without a relationship to an opportunity, but it also could be linked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it also can be linked to an activity. So many places, there's no shortage of places to link it. So just opening this up now, I'm not going to deep dive and explain into the sales quotation structure. It's very similar to all of the other forms that you see in SAP. So I'd just be kind of repeating what you already know. But here, standard, it should be a comfortable layout for you, which is, I'm hoping, will help you kind of integrate it into your existing operations if it can fit. So you add items the same way as you would in any other document, any other instance. We can choose a few items here and say we want 100 of these, 5 of those, 10 of those. Perfect. So from here, we can just go ahead and add our sales quotation. So it seems like, I know it seems with the sales quotations that it's just another document in SAP, and why should you care? And maybe you have some other thing that works for you. You're sending out Excels with quotations or things like that. So I will share, we have had customers increase their sales by up to 20% just implementing this sales quotation. So if you have any questions, if you are interested in, learning more about it, please reach out to us and we can help you kind of figure out a way to integrate it into your process. So we'll go ahead at this point and just add our sales quotation. I do want to share too, we'll just add a discount in here, and we can, just like everything else, or most other documents, add an approval process here for a sales quotation. And that pop-up, I did just click it a little fast, but it asks when you add that sales quotation if you want to update your gross profit. Since it's related to an opportunity, it asks if you want to update this potential amount in gross profit, and you can say yes. And so that will, maybe because it's in an approval stage, but that will allow you to update now. Maybe what you had projected for your potential amount is different, so that'll help you update that.
Question from Josh: can you link a sales quote to an activity or a campaign? And the answer is yes.
Yep, you can. So from here, we've created a sales quotation, very easy. All of that data, really all of the data you need, it's all in your system now so far. So fairly easy to integrate that into your processes. You can integrate, like I said, approval procedures in there. You are also able to send these out with your mailer. So if you want to send any sales quotations out, once you've added it on your opportunity, they had asked for it. So now you want to send out the sales quotation. We have it auto-filled with the subject and the text here. So we'll go ahead and send that out. And also kind of a helpful little lesser known report here is the sent emails report. So maybe you've told somebody on your sales team, hey, you need to get this quotation out to them. You can verify if they've sent it or not. So what I did there, just go here under your business partner reports, you go to your sent emails report, and you have search criteria here, and then can actually see what emails were sent, all of the information related to that, and then actually open up the PDF that was sent and look at any of the details. Otherwise, another helpful report that I like to use with just about anything, or I find a use for with just about anything, is this open items list. So this will let you see in the sales quotation area which sales quotations are still open. From here, you can always click and just cancel or close the sales quotation. Otherwise, we can drill into it. So let's see. It looks like this is our last sales quotation that we created. We can drill in straight from that open items list and say we got an email from our lead and they say, we love this sales quotation, we're ready to order. So all you have to do in that case, we open up our sales quotation, we'll copy it straight to a sales order. It says they exceeded their credit limit. That's fine in this case, we're good with it. We'll add in a delivery date here, and if everything looks okay, we'll add this document. And we do have customer ref number requirement in this database, so I added that in, and now everything's good and added to the system. We can also, as we're looking at the sales quotation, we now see that the lines are closed out. We can go to our relationship map here and now see that it's associated with this sales order and open up the sales order. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, when you copy to an invoice, since this is a lead right now and not a customer in our system, if we do try to add this as an invoice, it'll stop us. So we need to just go back to this business partner master data, convert it to a lead. We can update it from there. And now we can add our invoice. It does want us to add some taxes, but otherwise we can add our invoice.
Any questions so far? All right, great. So if there are no questions, Beth, I think we may want to go through some reporting. And as I said before, what we showed you are three different components, right? One is the campaign management, the other one is the opportunity management for pipeline management, and the third one is quote sales order management relationships. So those are three different tools that could achieve some CRM goals. I'd like to show some reports around opportunity if you are going to use it. There are a lot of treasures here, like opportunity forecast to understand what the pipeline looks like, stage analysis to understand, maybe where you fail, or maybe some sales people are good in the first, second meeting, some salespeople are not closing. So that stage analysis, when you run it, could show you exactly that broken by a salesperson and what's the closing percentage of each salesperson and on a company level as for each one of those stages.
I think to go off of that as well, the lost opportunities report, I like to run this. So Oren has taught me this lesson. I think it's great. I like to run this by stages. So we can include all of our stages here, grouped by our sales employee, and it'll just give us another view of exactly which sales employees, which opportunities they've lost, and what stage they've lost at. So we can see here, just right off the bat, it gives us a view that Jim needs some help, needs some improvement after the first meeting, because it seems like he keeps losing the opportunities after the first meeting. Whereas Sophie looks like she goes to the first meeting really well, but once she gets to quotations and negotiations, seems to be a little weak there. So it'll help us, determine who needs help with which part of the sales cycle. And
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and vice versa, I'm saying you have different reports for what do you win and where you were successful and things of that nature. And also some reports for the sales rep individually. What's their open sales opportunities? So what are the things they need to work on and follow up and things of that nature? I think a great tool for the sales manager could be let me close out here, could be the opportunity pipeline. That's basically show you a full view of your pipeline. So, we see that we have opportunities that worth 1.6 millions. Based on the different stages, the weighted amount and the money we are thinking gonna come in is gonna be around 686. And that shows us where we are at different stages. So how many prospects we have on the leads, how many we quoted for, and every time you want to get more information, you can double click to drill down into that. So that will show you the specific opportunity, so you could walk through what can you do to progress them through the pipeline. And the reason why I'm saying it's a great tool for a sales manager, because you have all those filters. So for example, if I want to look at only Beth achievements, so I can filter only Beth. And once I refresh, I can see only her numbers. So I could drill down into her, her numbers and her quotations and go through that discussion with each one of the sales employees. We have a question. What's the difference between potential weighted amount in opportunity? Great question. When we look at an opportunity, we have the full amount. What do we think we can close with that potential opportunity? And then we have the weighted amount. The weighted amount is basically a subset of the closing percentage. And as you go through different stages, based on your history, that's definable, right? You define that as you start to use that module, but it's dynamic. So every time you analyze your actual performance and know your conversions better and improve upon those conversion numbers, you can update them. And then as you change the stage, for example, now I'm in the order, so that will change to 95%. If you're only on the second meeting, that will be only 50%. So based on that, the weighted amount is being calculated based on the stage that the company is in, taking into consideration all the opportunities for the company. Other questions? Perfect. Beth?
So yeah, feel free, if you do have any questions, any other questions, feel free to add them at this time. Otherwise, that's really kind of all the tidbits that I wanted to show you. Outside of these out-of-the-box reports, there is lots of availability for custom reports or, easy custom queries. Again, if you do want to learn how to make your own queries, we have a webinar for that. So feel free to look at our YouTube or website if you want to start making your own queries. Otherwise, this being the first webinar of our 2020 series, we will have 11 more webinars this year. We do have some great things slated for the coming months, but let us know what else you want to see. Reach out to any of us at Pioneer and they'll get the word back to me, or feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll have my contact information right up there. So feel free to reach out to me directly as well if you have any things that you want to see. Marcella did say, when will this webinar be available to review? So we'll be creating a blog post, and this recording will be available as well. It should be available next week.
Yep. So we'll wait for a few more questions, but just to summarize what we went through today, I know we went through a lot, but basically we went through all out-of-the-box SAP Business One CRM features. We went through master data, like lead, customer master data. We went through activities master data and how you could utilize them. We went through some marketing automation, the campaign management tool, as well as the opportunity management for managing the pipeline and longer sales opportunities. Some clients actually use it, the opportunity management also for engineering. When you want to engineer a new product and your client is really doing customized product, you may be able to use the opportunity management. Sales quotation and sales orders, very simple tool, but very effective, especially when you put around them triggers and alerts to the sales employees and different CRM reports. Documentation that is available is also going to be available under this. We have our blog post is going to be available. We have YouTube of many different webinars and training sessions available on our YouTube page, so feel free to go there and get more SAP information. And we have our LinkedIn tips and tricks group, but we always use Google and YouTube to get more information, so I would highly recommend those tools as well.
And we got a question from Igor about sharing the video of the webinar. That will be included with the blog, so that'll all be up on our website, and I believe you guys get an email blast as well for attending. You'll get that link.
Yep, it's going to be available latest by the end of next week, and all of you that register will get the link, and it's also going to be available on our website. We have also a question from Ali. Outlook does most of the things that SAP CRM module does. So if we integrate Outlook with SAP, which modules not to be used in SAP and will just be done by Outlook? Yeah, it depends on what you want to save in Outlook and how do you use that. So for example, SAP does have out-of-the-box Outlook integration, which allow you to integrate your business partners as well as your activities. So we may want to talk more details around that to see how you currently use the Outlook CRM today and what exactly you want to integrate with SAP. All right, great. And if there are no more questions, I'd like to thank everybody and have a great new year and a very successful 2020. And please reach out to us on any future webinars and education you may want us to include.
Wonderful. And we look forward to seeing you guys at the next webinar as well.
Have a good weekend all.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.